We'll give it a couple minutes to simmer. Then we'll get this show on the road. This will be my this is Friday. This is the Friday live stream to where I'm giving you my long parlay. I'm giving you my channel's money line. So that's 2 separate. I'm giving you my method of victory parlay. That's 3. And then we have a card that starts here. If you guys have DAZN, my sports book said it was going to start a couple hours ago. It doesn't start for about 2 hours. So depending on how this goes, I might actually go live twice today. I think I might go live for the Johnny Mansour Christian Avalos card, but we'll see. Wherever you're tuning in, I say welcome. Remember, guys, whenever you do catch this, whether if you're on the live stream or if you catch it on my playlist, remember to like this video. If you guys are betting on the fights, that's what this stream is all about. All week we've been documenting the fights going down in Doncaster in Scotland, in Tokyo, in Osaka, Japan. There's fights in Mexico. There's fights that start in 2 hours in California. I already put that parlay, guys, in our post section. So if you guys want to get action today, and I think it's, there's never any gimmies, there's never any locks, there's never any sure things in boxing, but there are fights that start in a few hours that if your sports book is letting you bet on them, it's the fight streaming on DAZN. Mate, I got it at $1.53. $100 gets you 53 back. I know a guy 10 grand is going to get him 5 grand back. I really like these early weekend cards to build momentum for the future, for the rest of the weekend. Now, I don't like parlaying all the cards together, so I already gave you my separate parlay. Like I said, it's in the community site. What's up, guys? What's up, Rappy? What up, Goat? What up, Sid? What up, guys? Who do you like this weekend, man? Who are your locks before I give you mine? I got that parlay I got to give you guys. I'm really excited. Even when it comes to money, we're tuning into this. A lot of you guys take it serious like I do. You do your due diligence. You do your research. You do your film studies. And you win fights, right? You win money on boxing. So we not only get to watch our favorite sport, we get to dissect our favorite sport, and you get to win money on your favorite sport. And we're on a hot one. And so it's always easy for me to dissect the casuals from the people who really know about the sport when I put a post up on our YouTube channel about the fights happening today, how I picked the 5 winners, and somebody said, oh, you picked all the 5 favorites. Great job. Okay, I picked all the 5 favorites to win. To win me money. Do you want me to pick the underdogs at 12-1 and lose my money just so you could say good luck? So it's interesting. Thanks, guys. Appreciate you guys. What are you guys thinking about? There's a card, like I said, Mansour Avalos. The odds are in our favor. You put all 5 favorites on your parlay for today. It's $1.53. I do want to talk about a couple fights I didn't get to cover on the channel. And before I get to give you my YouTube, I'm going to start calling it my YouTube channel bets, the fights that I covered this week. We covered Archie Sharp, Maxie Hughes. We covered the Terry Cooper fight. We covered Collins versus McGregor. We covered Josh Taylor. And then we covered Angelo Leo. So I'll put those first. And if you put all 5, if you follow me on those, you don't have to follow me. And by no way am I telling you guys I'm an expert. I don't want you guys getting the wrong impression. Even though we've won 33 in a row. Got to throw that in there. I don't want to give you guys the wrong impression to tell you guys I'm the best guy doing this. I'm just a guy who loves boxing and a guy who, researches the sport. Said, I really appreciate you, man. I put my 14 parlay on Harper, Angelo, Moses. I love it. We talked about it the other day. Said, I really appreciate you helping me out, helping the channel out, Said. And all you guys who are catching his comments, he knows what he's talking about as well. He always picks winners. And what does that pick? Where you at with the so those are money line. I like it. Angelo Leo. It's kind of interesting, man. I've heard, YouTube content creators are kind of going back and forth on Kameda and Angelo. I'm fully invested in this pick. Even Taylor. People are like, what Taylor are we going to see? I'm fully invested in a job. Guys, he's fighting in Glasgow. He's fighting in Scotland. I think we're going to see a really energized Josh Taylor. And it's interesting. Did you guys see on BoxRec, it says the Essuman Taylor fights 10 rounds, but Ring Magazine, all the boxing outlets, it says it's 12 rounds. So I'm interested to see if you guys picked up on that. We're live, Stony PA Boxing. Juba's Merca. Who do you think will win? Christoph Wills, Adam Balski. Damn, that's Juba. I really don't like kind of calling fights that I don't cover throughout the week, and I don't really like looking too far ahead. This live, it's a great question. I'd have to look into those fights. I really haven't studied Adam Balski too much. I want to give you my YouTube channel money line parlay first. So I'm taking this is what I'm taking, and this gives us three. This is at $3.31, and I like using round numbers. So if you put $100 on my parlay that I covered during the week, you get your money back plus 231. That's 2 times your money. It's great value. These are just money lines, guys. I'm going to give you my money lines. I'm going to give you my method of victory separately, and then I'm going to give you some add-ons if you want to add value to your money line with some fights that maybe we didn't cover. I'm taking Maxie Hughes. I mean, you watch the weigh-ins. The weigh-ins were today. I put it up on our YouTube shorts. Maxie looks in great shape. Both guys look in great shape, but Maxie looks. I think we're going to see a good Maxie Hughes. He's at $1.26. Those odds are odds for a reason. I just don't think Archie Sharp is there yet. Maybe he can be in a few years. I just don't think he is. Terry Harper. Earlier in the week, the more I'm sitting with Terry Harper, my book gave me method of victory bets for this fight. So keep that in mind. Hughes at $1.26, Terry Harper at $1.10, Angelo Leo at $1.23, Josh Taylor at $1.36, and I'm rolling with Nathaniel Collins. All the film study I've done on, I've talked to a guy on our channel who fought Nathaniel Collins. He's and everyone I've spoken to who is from that neck of the woods in Scotland, they're leaning on Collins just in terms of class against Lee McGregor. He's at $1.53. There is money coming back on McGregor. So I put my bet in 2 days ago and got Collins at $1.53. Those odds have shifted slightly. If all 5 come in, that's a $3.31. $100 gets us our money back plus $2.31. Let me see what you guys are. Tornado is coming. The Tartan, yes sir. People are sleeping on him, man. I think the Tartan Tornado is coming. How do you see the Sugar Nunez? Javi, I love that you asked that. Guys, Sugar Nunez is fighting Rikishi next Wednesday, which will be my Wednesday night, your Tuesday night in America. I'm going to be doing my analysis and breakdown of that fight. I'll be uploading it Sunday, which is your Saturday. So stay tuned to the channel. I'm a huge Sugar Nunez fan. So if that tells you anything, I'm leaning towards Sugar. He's one of the best in the world, and the mainstream still doesn't really know too much about him. He was supposed to fight Anthony Kakachi. Kakachi ended up taking the fight. He just fought last weekend. It was a domestic fight. I understand why he took that fight. Fighting Sugar Nunez, dangerous fight. I don't really like the price for Maxie, although he should win. Yeah, so those are just my money lines. I'm taking. Let's talk a little bit about if you want to add to that money line, guys. These are 2 fights on the undercard. If you want to add a little bit of juice to the 331, these are 2 domestic fights on the Doncaster, England undercard. Flint at $1.13, Hayden at $1.22, and then Todderin. People are sleeping on this guy. This is a fight I wanted to cover. It's the odds. Todderin versus Shigoka. I think if I'm mispronouncing that name, I watched this tape on him. He's only a slight favorite. Shigoka, I think, is going to get washed. And if you take Pedro on your money line at $1.75, that changes everything. That adds even more juice. I'm really confident. I might just throw 100 on Todderin just to win the money line, get your money back plus 75. I think that's a great value fight that nobody's really talking about. So if you want to add to the money line I already spoke about, Flint at $1.13, look at your book. Hayden at $1.22, Todderin at $1.75, changes everything. Stoney, I'm not a big fan on Leo stoppage. I have a gut feeling Kameda gives him trouble. I think the Kameda fight is going to be back and forth, guys. I think there's going to be a lot of tough rounds to score. And guys, I'm going into this weekend. My biggest stress about our bets this weekend are the stylistic matchups. I think in almost all of the fights, a lot of these rounds are going to be close. I think the Lee McGregor, Nathaniel Collins fight, those rounds are going to be close. I think the Maxie Hughes, Archie Sharp rounds are going to be close. I think Angela Leo and Kameda, those rounds are going to be hard to score. So I agree with you. Now, I do have it in my notes. These are my method of victory parlay, and I'm going to post this in the section. These are just 3 fights. This is a 4-to-1. So this pays $100, gets you times 4. On a separate bet, I'm taking the Collins-McGregor distance. I'm taking that fight to go the distance. These guys are, and I could reason with you if you want to ask why. Fighting in Scotland, both Scots, that's $1.29. That's what my book is giving me for Collins and McGregor to go the distance. Terry Harper now, the book is letting me to pick her by stoppage. Of all the fights, and usually I wouldn't pick the ladies to win by stoppage, But it's a fight that I broke down. You look at Natalie Zimmerman. She's 42 years old. She's a girl who was into fitness, who got into boxing. Terry Harper's a 3-weight world champion. She's fought all the way up at 150 pounds before. Her only 2 losses were at 150 and 130. 135 is where she's the champ. I think she's going to stop Zimmerman, and I love that bet. If there's one bet I really love that no one's talking about on YouTube, it's Terry Harper to stop Zimmerman at $2.20. And then Maxie Hughes and Archie Sharp, if you're torn on that fight, I like that fight to go the distance. I don't see Hughes or Sharp stopping each other. I don't see Collins and McGregor stopping each other. And I see Harper. I really like Harper to stop Zimmerman based on pedigree. That pays 4-1. That's a separate bet. Every week I give you guys my method of victory bets. I'm giving you 4 total tickets. You have the California fights. You have my YouTube parlay. Those are my 3 method of victory bets. And then one more is that I call it a swing parlay. I love the Todorán fight. I think I'm going to just go heavy on Pedro Todorán to beat Shigoka. 2-1 odds, man. That's an insane. When you look at the fight before, when you look how their styles, I'm really sold on that. I agree. He looks like a solid. Kameda to win at plus 400, not bad. Exactly. So, guys, I do this to give you guys my insight on who I think is going to win. Me as a gambler, I have been known to take a lot of underdogs. So there are opportunities to win money. So if you want to go against what I'm saying, Lee McGregor's an underdog. He could easily beat Collins. Archie Sharp is a live dog. He could easily beat Maxie Hughes. So if I were doing a show based on me picking underdogs and getting like a 30% hit rate, then those are decent to think about. But I've hit, I like hitting, I like picking winners. And even though that goes against, like for instance, yesterday, the NBA. I picked the underdog yesterday. I picked the Pacers and the over at 5-1. And today, even though OKC is the big favorite, for underdog odds, I'm taking Minnesota and the over. But I wouldn't do that. I don't do that with boxing. You'll hit every now and then. NBA, I'm at like a 50% hitting rate, but I'm not going to start a YouTube channel based on a 50% hit rate. Boxing, the odds are built around, you guys know the sport, it's built around your guys getting wins, your promoters getting wins, and you climbing the ladder. So this is why we're making money. Hughes' 7 losses is crazy. He's not even fit. But 7 losses, dude, you have to understand what those 7 losses mean. You can't judge a fighter's record. You can't judge a fighter's performance based on their total amount of losses. That's not a wise way of looking at it when you're betting on the sport. Cedric, Japanese fighter who speaks Spanish. Mexicanito. Yeah, Kameda went to Mexico at 15, learned the sport from Mexico. I've heard people who are Kameda fans saying that his family got pushed out of Japan and had to go to Mexico. I heard another story of how the dad wanted Kameda to learn the Mexican style, whatever it is. Kameda speaks Spanish. Stony Boxing, Leo Kameda, that's going to be a draw. 17-1. Stony, for how crazy it is, my channel, I've never picked a draw outcome, but Kameda, Leo, Collins, McGregor, 17-1 for a draw. So if you guys are feeling froggy, you don't have a lot of money, or you're just playing around with the money, that's something to think about. I'm kind of catering to like big bettors here. Cedric, Leo definitely been more active recently and has more momentum, which is why, yeah, I agree, 100%. And he's coming off the knockout, what he's looked like, 3 out of 4 stoppages. Been hating on Hughes. I feel you, though. 7 is the sexy, but he still should win. I agree. Hughes is like the UK version of Tevin Farmer, number of losses, but a great fighter. Good comparison. Tevin is a great fighter. Tevin's world class. People judge him on some of the decisions that he fell short on. Think about Sandor Martin. The same thing. Sandor Martin is another guy who has a handful of losses, but a hell of a fighter. He just doesn't do enough to win these close fights. 5-leg parlay odds give you Hughes decision, McGregor lead fight decision, Josh Taylor fight decision, Garcia Perez fight decision. I'm not mad at that, Christian. Kameda Ara is oozing. Stony P. Yeah, I mean, he's home, but the thing is, Kameda hasn't been a champ in 19, I think, since 2019. I think Kameda has peaked. He got pushed early. He's been doing the day. He's only 2 years older than Leo, but he seems like he's a decade older in regards to what he's done in his career. I like Christian. I like that parlay. Leo by knockout. I could see it, but I wouldn't bet on it. If you want to, I mean, I'm not comfortable. Kameda's never been stopped. When you're looking at statistics and you're playing the odds, if I'm going to take a guy by knockout, I got to see something. Kameda has looked like he's slowed down a bit, but I mean, to say that Leo becomes the first to stop him, maybe. Archie Sharp going to win. I have black fatigue. Jokey jokes. Yeah, miss us with all that stupid stuff, jokey jokes. Goat. Seen you throughout the week saying Sharp is going to win. I understand where you're coming from, though. Yeah, I don't see Sharp. I don't think Sharp has anything for Maxey. I just don't think Archie's at the level. Brian Norman Jr. versus Sasaki and Keyshawn Davis versus De Los Santos. I love both of those fights. Norman Jr., you know, he looked great in his last fight. A bit of holes. Sasaki in Japan is a hell of a opponent, man. I'm not going to give you my prediction until we get there. Leo fight going the distance. I could definitely see that. Stony P. Zimmerman prop similar to Boots prediction. Ha 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 ha. Told you. You guys are paying attention. I really like, look, if I really like Terry Harper to stop Zimmerman, man, look at their pedigree. Like, I don't have to, I'm not trying to sell you guys on that. I'm taking that bet and I'll put it up on the parlay. I'll put it up in the post section. I can't believe my book is letting me take Harper to stop her, to be honest with you. When you look at Harper, how she punches, straight shots, when you look at her fitness, I'm sold on it. I think Zimmerman's corner will stop that fight, but I don't want to get too picky. I'm not sure. I might say in Gary's stream, can't remember. Just want Sharp to win my parlays. Look, guys, I'm cheering for all you guys to win. Just because we disagree doesn't mean that we got to argue about it. Is Dominican style... whenever you get, is the Dominican style similar to Cuban style? Whenever you get countries that close, if you ever been to the DR, you ever been to Cuba, you know, just right off the coast of South Florida, you know, they use a lot of movement patterns. They use a lot of, you know, rhythm into their style, looking for counters, exiting, circling, a lot of flair. So similarity on movement, yeah, they are. Now, you know, we went to an Olympic training center in Cuba, would there be differences in their approach? There'd be differences. Essuman, Kameda, Essuman, Shores. Wow, look, I can't. When you get odds like that, I can't hate on it. Dumb bet, but I never know. Exactly, and that's why it's gambling. You never know. You know, this past football season, the NFL, my team's the worst in the NFL. I'm a Cleveland Browns fan. I put $10 on a bet. I'll post it if you don't believe me. I put $10 on a Cleveland Browns versus Steelers, and I won $5,000 on $10. And it was like one of these things that the Browns needed to score a defensive touchdown. They needed to have an interception. So-and-so had to score. So-and-so had to score, et cetera, et cetera. So I threw a 10 on it. It was the luckiest bet, and it won like $5,000. So things do happen. I think things in boxing happen less, though, just because it's one-on-one. There's no teams involved. There's a lot of less opportunities. Essuman, Ekow Essuman coming in to Scotland and Glasgow, beating Josh Taylor. That stuff, I just don't see that happening. But, you know, so I'd like to ask you, other than the odds, and are you just, what's your approach with this? Just the odds? Because you have a Brit and Essuman going to Scotland, so you have a visitor going to winning, but then you have the homer, Kameda, winning his fight, and then Sharp. So you're just picking the dogs. Okay, I get it there. Those are the bets, get hooked permanently. Man, I need that type of luck. Let's get that type of luck. I got lucky. And when you look at how the Browns scored the special teams touchdown, the defensive touchdown, it was on the last play. The Steelers were on Cleveland's 1-yard line, 99 yards to score, and they threw a pick, and then we scored a defensive touchdown. It was insane. I was screaming at the TV. That never happens, though. So when it comes to like NFL gambling, I'll do $10 on stupid parlays like that. When it comes to boxing, my go-to, the thing that I have a channel over, I don't really take stupid risks. And look at my winning percentage. You know, this is all about winning. I want to win. And some of you guys, if you look at the comments, we're hating about these DAZN fights right now. $1.53. You picked all the winners. Hell yeah, I picked Johnny Mansour, Christian Avalos. Mansour's $1.05. You're gonna take Avalos at 18-1 and post it, acting like you're, you know, and then he loses. You know, so it's all about winning. It's all about, you know, winning money. If you look at it like return of investment, what could you invest with a you know, a 53% return? Some of you guys are only getting 35% on the DAZN card, but even that, a 35% return rate, no matter what you invest in it, especially if it's, some of these boxing cards, guys, are damn near locks. There's no reason that you should just have you know, the winning percentage. There's a reason why the odds are like this. And the casinos and the books prey on the ones picking the underdogs, by the way, as well. So the goal should always be beat Vegas. Not, you know, and they make those odds for a reason. Johnny, what time does the undercard start in DAZN? So it is 2 hours. It says 2 hours from now, which is crazy. Because I know it's getting late for you guys. Garrett Delpiter elite, Browns D is nasty. I know, man. We just need something else. We need a quarterback. Dylan Price just got knocked out. Did he really? Dylan Price just got knocked out at 2,500. These things happen. Yeah. No, upsets do happen, and it comes down to luck. So, and are you which one? So you look. I'll just say nothing else is mine. I have a convincing narrative for each fighter. Probably not true, but might as well sprinkle on it. I agree. I like where you're going with it. I'm not going to ever say don't go that route. You know, when they hit, you look like a genius. When they don't hit, you know, that's the story of gambling. Nobody has a 100% hit rate, and nobody could sit here and tell you they know everything about everything. So there's always going to be outliers. There's always going to be outcomes that go against the grain. But that's why we keep playing the game, guys. What are your locks? Like I said, I like. You know, we didn't talk about the Bibiano fight either. That's another fight, guys, that is interesting to me with some crazy odds. Wilibaldo Perez fight. The Wilibaldo Perez fight versus Bibiano. I'm taking Bibiano at $2.20. When you look at the first fight, when you look at the scorecards, that's another rematch. I thought Bibiano, should have got that victory. He's the slight underdog. The money's going towards Wilibaldo. I'm feeling good. I might do a little sneaky underdog parlay too with Bibiano, Todorin, and that's 6-1 right there. $100 gets you 600 if Bibiano and Todorin win. So I'll post that. Conwell messed my part. Me too. I don't even want to talk about Charles Conwell. And look how that Chinito has a huge fight now. You know, Conwell laid an egg in that fight. I picked Conwell. I broke Conwell down. He's from Northeast Ohio. He's an Ohio guy like me. I was high on Conwell. He couldn't do anything against Chinito, and you got to see Chinito's savviness and his ring IQ. Conwell kept ducking to Chinito's left side. He had the same show, his same tell. He'd come in, push Chinito against the ropes, and he would duck his head here, and he wouldn't work the other side. It was so frustrating to watch. It was almost like Conwell. What happened? He didn't have a plan B. He had a plan A. Plan A didn't work. He didn't have a plan B, and Chinito outboxed him. Good for him. Barrel strength lock of the week: Sharp and Kameda. Archie, Sharp, and Kameda. Good luck on that, mate. Meme: Angelo Leo versus Kameda go the distance. I like it. I don't know if I'd call that a lock. I like the odds, though. I was mad, honestly, watching Conwell smother. Yeah, that's exactly right. And the crazy thing is, on the channel, if you guys follow Ohio Runs Boxing on Instagram, he's been in the game forever. You know, I had him on, and we were talking about that Conwell fight going into the Chinito fight, and I was sold on Conwell. And Ohio Runs Boxing was like, the problem with Conwell is he doesn't disguise his entries. He comes in the same time, and he was like, if he has one flaw, when he gets to a high level, his opponent's going to pick up on that. And, you know, I just didn't know Chinito was on that high level, which he is, and it propelled him into a huge fight. He was at his mid-range, landing quick combinations. Anyone remember the Khalil co-op? Yep. Seen that fight in person. It was insane to see people. You know, he's still getting promoted and marketed. Khalil Kozal is still getting pushed because, you know, in boxing, things like this happen. He was at best mid-range landing quick combos. Garcia Perez, Wilibaldo, and Josh Taylor fights go the distance. I could see that, Christian. And what is Wilibaldo and Perez? What does Wilibaldo and Bibiano pay to go the distance? Let's see here real quick. Yeah, $1.36. My book down here in Australia. I think that's a great bet. And what's the other one you said? Josh Taylor go the distance. I think it's similar. I think I have that down in my $1.22. Yeah, so I like the distance bets. Hello, Bruno. Kameda, I agree. Not big on multiple upsets on one parlay. I agree. Bro, I think you're losing. I'm just putting some on for. I like your honesty, Ann. Co is doing the rematch on the 30th. It should be a good one. I saw that. Oh, okay. There's a lot of good fights coming up, guys. But to be honest, you never know. Wednesday night, like I said, we have a huge fight. We have like almost 7 days of boxing because we have this card happening now. Then you got, Doncaster, England tomorrow. Then you got Scotland the next day. Then you got Osaka, Japan. And then we finish the week on Wednesday with Nunes versus Rikishi. And Nunes right now, Sugar Nunes is $1.51. So I think those odds are going to swing. I think if you really like Sugar Nunes to win, you could get good money right now. I think by the time we get to Monday, that's going to probably be like $1.25. Right now it's $1.51. I'm shocked that it's at 151. Especially not Kameda. He gassed out, right? I'm putting Essuman too. Throw him in there. Throw Ekow in there. Ekow can fight. These are all pro athletes. If you want to load up an underdog parlay, maybe we start doing that. Throw him up there. Sharp has a chance, though. I'm not going to lie. Archie, Yeah, people are saying that. You know, I'm gonna look real dumb if he wins. I just don't see it. How much do you usually stake on your boxing bets? Christian, you asking me? If you're asking me, it just depends. Like, I like I don't really have a set bet. Like last weekend, I put 500 on a bet, and then I put 1,000 on another one, and we're just winning. So if I'm on like a nice cruisy win streak like I am now, those numbers get higher. And if I lose or lose two, I'll start back from scratch. So I have my own little system when it comes to that. Kameda is a solid fighter. Did you watch any film? He's definitely not talking to me. I broke Kameda down. Kameda's a dog. Swindle, he did gas out so bad. Crazy. Do you put anything on Harper knockout? I did. Gerwin. We talked about it earlier. I like Harper to stop her. Terry Harper right now, man. That's we covered that earlier. I have her at 220. I think she's gonna stop. I don't even. I mean, I know why Natalie Zimmerman got the fight because when you look at the 135-pound division in women's boxing, guys, there's 230 women. That's it. It's something like 230 women in the world who fight at 135. So Zimmerman has a padded record at 13-0. You have a padded record at 13-0. You're bound to get a title fight. Terry Harper is that title fight. She's only has, 2 losses at 150 and 130. Alicia Bumgarner was one of those losses. And then Sandy Ryan, who could bang. So she's been in there with world-class fighters. And I think Terry Harper has a lot of upside. She's only, I think, 28 years old. She looked great on the scales. Her body's great, big, long for that division. I think she stops her. I'm selling myself that I'm very confident. Probably one of the most bets I'm confident on is Terry Harper stopping Zimmerman just because of that it's so outmatched. Thinking about betting pretty big. Do you have any updates on that? Johnny, I remember you said you were thinking about betting pretty. Yeah, so go depending. Let's see if this hits. If because we have the opportunity to have staggered cards, it's going to depend if because I went pretty big on this 153. Let's say 10 grand on 153 gets you 5,000 back. That's 15K. Would I have enough balls to go 15K on a 2-1? I've never done anything that big, but we're starting to flirt with the idea. So we'll see. Because I put the money that I make here in a different account. We'll see what happens. I'll let you know though. Put 25 to win 150 on Kameda. What do you think? I ain't mad at it, even though I'm picking Leo to win. Anything that pays like that, pick it. And there's a lot of opportunity, guys. There's a lot of Gerwin, I appreciate you. Guys, remember, wherever you are tuning in, let's like this video. Let's comment. Keep the questions coming. If you want to see any of the breakdowns professionally done that we've spoken about, just go to my channel. That's what I started doing. I do analysis, breakdowns, and predictions. And we covered the 2 fights in Doncaster, England, the 2 fights in Scotland, the main event in co-main, and then the Angela Leo and Kameda fight. I'm only one man. Safe bet, Kameda, Leo, go the distance. Sharp Hughes, go the distance. Maybe even Taylor. Yes, and I love it. We talked about that. I could see all that happening. Which one of those fights is ITD? I hope Taylor loses. Koki, why do you hope Taylor loses? Are you just an Ekow fan? Anyway, visit Saudi. Saudi, I'd love to. Dude, I saw a documentary on what Saudi's done with they have that whole art section with global arts. It's like a whole area that you could go to. It's like supposed to be one of the most expensive museums in the world. How do you get the community section to see your picks? Amazing. It's called the post. So on my phone it says community. I think on your apps it'll say post. So the posts section. But from the user interface it says community section. So there you go. I want to start betting pretty big by the end of the year, having financial freedom off of boxing. Goat. Well, we're seeing the same thing. Yeah, that's why I put so much work into this. That's why I treat this like my second business. Bro, can you post your parlay for tomorrow? Yeah, I'll do that. There's a parlay up there now, guys, and you guys have time to bet on it. But Lovely Panda, I'll post tomorrow's up after I get off of this. I have one more video I have to upload. And then if you go to the post section, you can see the parlay for Hollywood. It's only $1.53, but I think it's easy money. 3 odds, 100 gives you 325. Maxie Hughes decision. McGregor Lee fight decision. Love that. I love that pick too. Taylor fight decision. The Garcia Perez fight decision. Angela Leo victory. What do you think? I could see all of that. I'm leaning on all of your decisions there. I really like if I had to go the distance. The 2 fights I'm really confident in are the Lee McGregor Nathaniel Collins to go the distance, and then the Maxie Hughes Archie Sharp to go the distance. But I like what you're picking there. Correct for it says post. Yeah. So the posts section is where you'll find me screenshot the parlays, and Yeah, so to protect myself and everybody else, I don't show you how much I bet. I don't brag. I'm not, if you ask, I'll be honest with you on one of these. But I don't like, I'm a very simple dude. I'm not a flosser. I don't care about materialistic stuff. I'm just an old school type of cat. But if you ask me, I'll be open with you. Sounds good. What's your top 3 locks for this weekend? Doesn't have to be money line. Okay. Yeah. Mac, no, I picked Collins to win that fight. I picked Collins to beat McGregor. And to answer you, my top 3 locks for this weekend doesn't have to be money line. Shit, the word lock puts so much pressure behind it. Like I already told you, I think Terry Harper by stoppage. I think Maxie Hughes and Archie Sharp to go the distance. And I think Nathaniel Collins and Lee McGregor to go the distance. Those 3 I'm comfortable with. I'm just because I've researched the hell out of those 3 fights, those fighters, the film study, based on the matchups. And like I told you, I could give you reasons. Just because what's at stake in Doncaster, England, with Archie Sharp and Maxie Hughes, both guys are tough as nails. I don't see either one stopping each other. Neither guy has the one-punch knockout power. And then you go to Scotland, you got the same thing. You got the battle of Scottish fighters at 28 years old, both trying to get to the next level, fighting in Glasgow for their people. Neither guy has knockout power. I see neither guy's one-punch knockout power. I see that going the distance. But I think Terry Harper is I think that's the biggest mismatch of the weekend. And I could be wrong. Lately I'm right. I could be wrong. That's my truth of truths. And I'm trying to help you guys. So instinctively, that's what I'm going with. I like that. Pasillas fight. Easy money, lovely panda. Vic is back. Vic Pasillas, OG in the game, is back. Went up to LA boy, went up to NorCal, back in LA. He's co-maining on the Johnny Mansour. Right now, I took him yesterday. I posted this on our page, guys. Yesterday, Vic, they took it up. Yesterday, Vic was $1, I think 38, and he dropped down to $1.22 overnight. So I think that send him 2-3 years Dagestan. Forget Moses by stoppage. Are they giving you the props on that? And get Moses. They're not letting me take Moses by stoppage. It's right now he's like at $1.02. So in terms of like, is there enough juice to squeeze? I'm just. You could put it on the parlay, but you know what I mean. I don't really see it adding too much value. If I did have the prop, yeah, stoppage 16. Send him 2-3 years Dagestan. Forget Pacers come back was great. Unbelievable meme. Unbelievable, dude. Everyone's talking about Halliburton, but Neymar, man, that dude hit like. I think he hit 5 threes in the last 2 minutes. It was insane. I don't even have the. It's exactly what happened in Cleveland in Game 2. The same exact thing. How Cleveland lost against Indy. New York blew it in Game 1. I think the New York one was way more deflating considering they're in the Eastern Conference Finals. Facts, man. It cost me my parlay. I'm bet on 365, 116. What do you think is still worth the bet? Money lines 116. I'll throw a 116 on a parlay, especially if it seems like a lot. Collins looks small and scared. You're saying that Nathaniel Collins looks scared? I don't think any of these guys are scared, mate. McGregor might stop him. Hey, if you're leaning that way, pick him. You know, good luck to you too. I hope you win, even though I picked Nathaniel. Guys, wherever you're coming in, like this video, comment. I like your opinions. I like how we have different opinions. Barrel strength. I could see how Lee wins. I just don't see him stopping Nathaniel Collins. I think the Southpaw's a better boxer. I think he's quicker. I think he has better feet. Is either guy at world-class level? I don't know. Naismith, yeah, Naismith is beast. All the memes going around social media are about this, but it was Naismith who gave him the opportunity to hit that shot. That kid brought that team back. What a stud. Indy, man, people were sleeping on Indy. Sharp, McGregor, Kameda, all the upsets that are going to happen. Mac. Okay, that could easily happen. You know what I mean? None of those fights are gimmies. That's what I'm talking about. This is why we gamble, and I guarantee whenever we get these outcomes, we'll be back here, and you guys can say you told me so, which I'm all cool with. Koki, Shiraz, Berlanga. I always talk about this. We break down both fighters. We talked about this a little bit throughout the week. Right now, I'm leaning on Berlanga, but I'll give you my firm prediction as we get a little bit closer, which we're nearing the end. We got a lot of big fights coming up, guys. Barrel strength, just be saying whatever. GOAT in the house. Canada over here. Good, man. Represent the flag down here in Australia. 5 threes in a row is crazy, especially when you're looking at what happened, especially when you got, there were a couple little mistakes that the Knicks made, and then the out-of-bounds play that they didn't make, the missed free throw, the challenge call. There's so many little things. Playoff basketball is insane, and if you've watched the playoffs this year, So many games have been like this. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens today with OKC and Minnesota. It's tough to pick against Shea Gilgeous, but once again, it's tough. Minnesota has a superstar in their own right as well. Turkey wants Shiraz to win. Of course he does. Shiraz is his boy. Ricardo, I think so. And hot take, Jamal is more skilled than Jermel. Yep. Well, we got Jamal. Cornflake in the house. Cornflake did an interview yesterday on, I think, YSN. He's a Philly guy, and I think YSN is out of Philly. So they're always doing a lot of, like, Boots Ennis Gym. Bosey's always on there. And Cornflake was talking about that exact thing you mentioned about the Charlos. Itomo wanted 2. Yumba wanted 2. Parlay. Yeah. Oh, Yumba's a beast, man. That dude's an animal. I wish the odds weren't so drastic, though. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got him at... the odds on those 2 fights, Barrel, or at least for my book, are terrible. You got... Alois is $1.02, and they're not giving me options to stoppage. So I'm not going to put $1, $1, $2, $3. I'll put $1.06 on my parlay, which I've done today. But I'm not going to do $1 or $2. It's kind of like there's not enough juice. And I don't know if it's an Australian thing. Whenever the odds are like $1, $2, they don't give you a method of victory bet. So it's just a straight up money line. I'm going to stay away. But those are gimmies. And if we're talking gimmies, those are gimmies. And you got Itoma. So Moses is $1 right now. Yeah. $1, $1, $2. There's a couple fights, guys, on the Doncaster England card that I talked about it earlier in the video. James Flint and Joe Hayden. Hayden's fighting Booth and Flint's fighting Lamuse. And they're both at about $1.14. They're both going to win those fights. If you want to fatten up your parlay slightly, you could throw those on there. What's your best bet plus money pick that you're proud of? I don't remember, but mine is when you pick Keyshawn. Oh, Keyshawn Baranchik 1 to 6 rounds. I've bet a lot, brother, so it's tough for me to say. What is my favorite bet as of recently? Probably Boots stopping Stanionis, because I was taking a lot of heat on that one. Canada betting is nice. No tax on winnings. Beautiful. Lovely panel. What do you think about Mansoor fight? I'm only allowed to take Johnny on money line. So if you could take, I think he's going to stop him, but I'm taking Mansoor money line. I'm not getting odds on anything else other than that. Yes, Miguel Cotto is way too old for a comeback, man. He gave us everything in the ring. Josh Taylor fight goes the distance. So Swindle, somebody was saying that, but I looked again, and I think that BoxRec made an error that it's a 10-rounder because the Ring Magazine, Boxing Scene, Josh Taylor in an interview today said it was, I think it's a 12-round fight, mate. You need to look into that. I did a 22-leg parlay and cashed out early and hit. Beast. That's always great money. What do you think about Tateron Pedro? Christian, I mentioned that earlier. I can't believe Tateron's $1.77 right now. I think he wins that fight. I'm very confident with that fight. I actually have a side parlay with Tateron and Hayden and Flint. It pays about plus money 240. Hayden and Flint are these two guys on the undercard of Archie Sharp, Maxie Hughes. $1.22, $1.13. And I got Tateron at $1.80. I love that fight. Pac is coming back at 46. He's going to stop Barrios. I read a great quote, man, about that. The professional fighters, especially greats like Pacquiao, they all look great in the gym in their 40s, 50s, and 60s. It's when they get in the ring that they start showing their age. So just keep that in mind. Do you consider Jake Paul a real boxer? I'm torn on Jake Paul, guys. Even though he's a fellow Ohio boy. I'm from Youngstown, Ohio. He's from Cleveland, Ohio. I don't like the mockery. I don't like him fighting old men. No. I think he's a joke. I like what he's done for women's boxing. I look at Jake Paul as a promoter. He's been good for promoting the sport. My hat tips to him. But if you want to be considered a real boxer, there's systems. I'm a system guy. I'm a methodology guy. You have to adhere to them. He just he just said fuck our systems, and he tries to make a mockery of our sport just to make money. So I'm not a huge fan of him as a boxer or an athlete. As much as I love Pac-Man, he's too old, bro. 46. Pac-Man gave us everything, man. I don't want to. I hope Manny's not fighting for money. That's another thing. I hope people are gonna. I hope the main press people, the mainstream journalists will ask that question. I want somebody to sit down with Manny and say, Manny, are you fighting for money? Because you're not fighting for legacy. Mark Kelly is a personal friend of mine. Me and Pavlik grew up together. I could call him right now. You guys are friends of the channel. You already know that. Mark's new to the channel. It's boxing. You never know. Do you think it goes a distance? Youngstown in the house. Yep, we grew up. He must have a solid game plan for Barrios. Why would he take the fight? And, I mean, money. Why would he take the fight, man? That's why I'm worried. Yeah, Kelly and I are the same age. We played Little League Baseball together. I said this story ad nauseum. We played, he was my catcher and I was his pitcher. And we used to win tournaments all throughout the state of Ohio and Western Pennsylvania. We still talk to this day. If you look at the magazine right there, that's a picture of Kelly. That is a magazine right before he fought Max Zertuche. So he fought Max Zertuche, I think, in 2008, right before the Edson Miranda fight. I was ringside to that fight. He knocked Zertuche out in the 9th. And it's the knockout where Zertuche was frozen on his feet. In exchange, bing, 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 and Kelly just, and Zertuche's like, YouTube that knockout. It's fucking insane. It was in Disneyland, Anaheim. They called it the Pond at the time. Someone like Floyd's fight money, seeing his style. Pac-Man's a warrior and just loves to fight. Yeah, but man, 46 is 46, right? Paul insulted shoes. Respect, Paul. Never try. Pasillas money line. Love that. Vic, yep. I took Vic money line, by the way. I took Pasillas money line. That statement was dumb. Floyd obviously was fighting for legacy. Johnny, you ever played Undisputed video game? Kelly Pavic was just there to studio getting scanned. I saw it on Kelly's Instagram yesterday. He shared it on a story, something about the Undisputed video game, but I've never played it. Something about, yeah, I'm probably going to say an unpopular opinion, but my dad, I wasn't allowed to play video games growing up, so I never got into video games. So I never played the game, but I did see Pavlik shared it on his Instagram story. Word on the street is Miguel Cotto versus Juan Manuel Marquez. Now, guys, I'm hearing a lot of that, but that might just be an exhibition. That might just be like a 4-rounder. You know what I'm saying? Like, but hopefully, come on, both guys are legends. Cotto, I just think we want to bring our favorite fighters back. Juan Manuel Marquez, man, what a fight. It's not that great. Isn't Marquez 50? Yeah, we're not. Let's not. There's so many young fighters we could be featuring, we could be talking about. You know what I'm saying? There's an undercard for the Leo fight. Pedro Tateron, are you going to do a prediction for it? I can't do it a prediction, but I'm taking Tateron. I can't believe the odds are what they are. If I take them right now, guys. Go to your book because those odds are going to shift. It's almost at a 50-50 in terms of money, but I think Tateron, I can't believe it's not a bigger. He's not a bigger favorite. I just don't want to either get hurt. Yeah, great fights. 2 unks said good boxing, be entertaining. 2 unks. They might be more than unks now. What's the next level? They might be OGs. I think they're OGs, mate. I don't even think I'm an unk at 43. Them fools are like late 40s, early 50s. I know I told you I'm high on Moses, but I see the parallel between the Itoma brothers and the Zoo brothers. I got to figure if one brother has a weak chin, the other one. Yeah, people were sleeping on Nikita. I like watching Nikita fight. You know, he's young in his career, doesn't have an amateur pedigree, but, mate, he's entertaining. Nikita's only had a handful of fights, never lost, been dropped before, nicknamed the Butcher. He'll tell you straight up he's not in it for a long boxing career, but he's an entertaining fighter, man, and he got a heart for fucking days. So if you want to watch some fun, entertaining fights, Nikita Zuga crack. Is Josh Taylor done? A lot of people are saying he's done. I don't think Josh Taylor has a come-home fight at 147. His fans been wanting him to fight there forever in Glasgow if he was done. Yeah, I've seen Nikita Zoo fight multiple times. I was at, I go to almost all the fights here in Sydney. I live in Sydney, Australia, if you didn't know, guys. Wherever you're tuning in, like this video, comment, let me know what time it is. Garcia Perez to beat Bibiano in the rematch. First fight was split, draw. It was a draw. I like Bibiano. I don't think Willibaldo. I thought that decision was crazy the first fight, to be honest with you. I didn't get a chance to break that fight down, but I have Bibiano on one of my parlays. After Unk, your grand. Okay, I didn't know the hierarchy. I'm learning through you guys. Vasquez, I got Leo by 8th. Very specific, Mark. 8th round stoppage against Kameda, a guy who's never been stopped. Good luck. I got Leo winning on points. Kameda is tough. Mo Price, I agree. I got Leo money line on that as well. 6:43 p.m. for you. Awesome. So it's 10:43 in the morning Friday here. The odds of Itoma stopping, dude, for you're a middle-aged man. English language has been butchered. There you go. Nikita Zoo looks like a mix of his brother and Boacek. Yeah, just doesn't have a lot of rounds. Doesn't have a lot of doesn't have a lot of mobility. Like when you look at a fighter who's really seasoned, they move in a certain way. Nikita's a bit stiff still. He's overcoming a hand surgery too. I think he's almost ready. He might be sparring. How you think Hughes wins? I think Maxie Hughes wins on rounds. I think he wins points. I think Maxie Hughes outboxes him. I think he's a higher caliber fighter than Archie Sharp. And I think it's going to show that. Maxie looks... people are saying, oh, he has 7 losses on his career. I mean, he's a domestic... I think... Maxie's fought at the world level. Archie's a domestic-style fighter. But, I mean, I look at both guys. What do you mean? What do you look like at your best? And I don't think Maxi's done at all. You know, watch the pre-fight, follow him on Instagram, watch his interviews. You could kind of get hints if guys are done, what they say, how they move, how they train. I don't see any of that, Maxi Hughes. This is a guy who still thinks he could be a world champion. I'm confident in him showing that class against Archie. Nothing against Archie. I think Archie might be, you know, I don't think he's fully developed yet, actually, even though he is 30. How do you think Hughes wins? I think when you see the upset, I can see Ekow outworking him. Josh Taylor loves going head-to-head, looking for a scrap. 140. You can see Ekow outworking Taylor. Interesting. Demanding weight classes. Moses that good. His opponent has been stopped by Rakapo. I think the way to go maybe is bet on both Apatak and Atoma stopping their foes. Parlay maybe sharp as number BO for 2 years. Yeah, but not at 135. I mean, divisions. I mean, WBO. Internationally, though, what's he ranked internationally with all the divisions? What's his best win? You know what I'm saying? Like, what does Sharp look like at his best? What's he look like at his worst? You know, what's his duds look like? What's his victories look like? All these things, at least when I analyze fights and I predict fights, that comes into my decision. And I think on all of those answers, of those questions, I think I lean on Maxi on all of them. I just don't see anywhere Archie Sharp beats him. I think Hughes is maybe like the Johnny Fisher fight. Odds and records are being similar, kind of. Yeah, I'm salty on that fight, man. Cheers to David Allen, man. It comes down to how shot Taylor is. That's what we're banking on, I think. You know, we could easily debate that Josh Taylor hasn't won a fight in like 4 years. You know, even though he technically won that the first you know, fight, but Ramirez, you'd have to go back to 2021, even though he beat damn, my mind's fucking slipping. I have so much going on in my head. The kid, we documented the fight. You know, Lamont Brewster in Indianapolis. Lamont Brewster had 5'9". I don't know how much about the Italian guy Appetite's fighting. I see where he was knocked down. Barrel, 5'9" weight training, 130. I could see that. Look, Barrel, you pose good points. I don't know, man. I wouldn't be confident betting on Archie Sharp. If you just had a pocket full of change and you want the underdog to win, bet on him. But if you want to bet, you know, if you're coming from a analytical gun to your head approach, I would no way take Archie Sharp over Maxi Hughes. That's just what I'm gonna go with. But who's the kid? There's so many fights I've covered, man. Where I was getting at is you guys were asking about. Damn, I've taken so many fights. I think I've been hit too much. Good point. Hughes hasn't been at 130 in years, so why are the odds open time fight? Regis, the Ramirez fight, that win hasn't aged too well. Is it? Well, I mean, come on. Ramirez is a world champion. It's aged well. Ramirez had a lot of volume. I mean, you know, Ramirez took a lot of damage in, I think, the Maurice Hooker fight. So, like, fights take shit out of you, man. You know what I mean? And matchups take things out of you. And Josh Taylor, he gave a lot early. You know what I mean? Think about what he did early in his career. It was only a few sleeps ago, lack of a better analogy, where people saying Josh was pound for pound top 10 in the world. It was only that long ago. It wasn't that long ago. But then again, what he's looked like, you know, and then the people who support him say he's only looked flat because of that weight drain. We'll see, man. He looked like he was an inch and a half taller than Essuman today at the face-off, if you guys watch that. They're both listed at 5'10", but Essuman looked relatively shorter than Taylor. Taylor looked like at least an inch and a half taller. I don't know if you guys watched that. I put it up in our thing. Yeah, I know the Pacers were crazy. Johnny Williams, Jack, Fax, David Allen usually right, picked Archie, Vasquez. Guys, I got to run, man. I'm going to be going live again for the DAZN fights. So we have fights live in 2 hours. You guys, if you're bored, tune in. I'm going to be going live for the Johnny Mansour card in 2 hours. I appreciate you. Like this video, comment, support the channel, and good luck to all you bettors out there. I'm going to put my parlays in the post section. I already have my picks for today. You can follow those. Stay tuned to the channel. I got a couple more videos to upload today. I appreciate you guys.